guest this evening, Nikhat Abbas is spokesperson of the BJP. Umesh Sehgal is a former chief secretary of Delhi, and I want to ask him whether the Delhi government not having the power to appoint and transfer officers actually hampers the working. And Parminder Singh Sethi is a political analyst, speaks on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party, joining us on the broadcast as well. Parminder ji, क्योंकि आप स्टूडियो में आने के आपने ज़हमत उठाई है, my first question to you. ये बताइए, ये देख लीजिए, आप तो बहुत ऑपोजिशन यूनिटीज के लिए आप भारत भ्रमण करने शुरू हो गया है आज, हाँ, अरविंद केजरीवाल का, लेकिन ये तो कांग्रेस पार्टी तो साफ साफ बोल रही है हमसे कुछ उम्मीद मत रखिए।
नहीं, देखिए, ये अलायंस की बात नहीं है, ये पॉलिटिकल अलायंस की बात नहीं है, ये सच और झूठ की बात है, ये न्याय और अन्याय की लड़ाई है। जब एक पार्टी जिसको पूरा देश मैंडेट देता है और उसके बाद वो तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति कर कर विपक्षी पार्टियों को टारगेट करती है, जब एक 8 साल केस चलता है, उस 8 साल के केस के बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट की बेंच, चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया कोई फैसला सुनाते हैं, तो उसके बाद वो रात के अंधेरे में जब कोर्ट की हॉलीडेज होती हैं 6 वीक्स की, उससे पहले भी ला सकते थे। उनको पता है कि ये जो अध्यादेश ये लाए हैं ये टिकेगा नहीं, लेकिन अब ये लड़ाई लंबी होती नजर आ रही है। इस वजह से पहले भी नीतीश कुमार जी सभी पार्टियों को कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे थे, इसीलिए कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे थे कि जो टारगेट है वो गरीब आदमी की प्रोग्रेस का नहीं है, डेवलपमेंट का नहीं है, महंगाई का नहीं है, रोजगार का नहीं है। उनका टारगेट है कि हमारे सामने कोई विपक्षी पार्टी ठहरे ना और हम ही हम हो। इस तरह की राजनीति, इस तरह की तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति से फाइट करने के लिए सभी पार्टियां इकट्ठा हो रही हैं, नीतीश कुमार जी इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये हाई कमांड का फैसला है। जो लोकल लीडरशिप जो भी बात करती है या नहीं करती, ये हाई कमांड का फैसला है कि कौन साथ देगा या कौन नहीं देगा।
परमिंदर सेठी जी, एक बात बताइए, सबसे पहले तो अगर आप आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू रिक्वेस्ट आवर प्रोड्यूसर्स टू पुट मी एंड परमिंदर जी इन 2 फ्रेम्स। परमिंदर जी, एक बात बताइए कि आप आज तो आम आदमी पार्टी जो है कांग्रेस का सपोर्ट मांग रही है, राइट? और आप कह रहे हैं कि गलत हुआ है आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ, इसलिए सारी ऑपोजिशन को साथ आ जाना चाहिए। फैक्ट इज कि यू आल्सो द आम आदमी पार्टी आल्सो वांटेड टू पुट सोनिया गांधी इन जेल। नहीं, अगर आप ऐसी चीजें उनके लीडर्स के बारे में बोलेंगे तो वो क्यों आपको सपोर्ट करेंगे?
देखिए ये जो मुहिम है नीतीश कुमार जी की चलाई हुई मुहिम है,
तो
लेकिन
हाँ,
नहीं, मैं आपको कह रहा हूं कि अब जब 2 राजनीतिक पार्टियां होती हैं, एक दूसरे के बारे में बहुत सारी बातें करी जाती हैं, हाँ, राजनीतिक मंच के ऊपर, हाँ, वो, लेकिन जब एक बड़ी लड़ाई लड़नी होती है, हाँ, तो सब लोग इकट्ठे होते हैं। आपने देखा 1989 के अंदर जब वीपी सिंह जी थे, उन्होंने सारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को इकट्ठा करा, हाँ, और उसके बाद उन्होंने एक बड़ी भूमिका निभाई, हाँ, और सरकार को गिराया। ये सवाल सरकार को गिराने का या प्रधानमंत्री बनने का नहीं है, ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति को खत्म करने का है। ये जो कभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी 2 सीटों के ऊपर थी, लेकिन आज उनके अंदर इतना घमंड है, इतने साल में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं करी। देखिए, जंतर मंतर के ऊपर जो देश की आन बान शान और अभिमान, देश के खिलाड़ी जो पूरे देश में नहीं पूरे संसार के अंदर देश का नाम रोशन करते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री जी अपने घर बुलाते हैं, उनके साथ, उन महिलाओं के साथ, उन खिलाड़ियों के साथ जाती होती है तो उनकी सपोर्ट में कोई खड़ा नहीं होता। उनकी एफआईआर दर्ज करने के लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट का सहारा लेना पड़ता है। जब किसानों की बात है, ना ये किसानों के हैं, ना जवानों के हैं, ना खिलाड़ियों के हैं, तो ये सरकार किसकी है? अडानी की, बड़े बड़े बिजनेसमैन की, बड़े बड़े व्यापारियों की। आप महंगाई, आप कह रहे जी, आप जो सिलेंडर 400 रुपए का था वो 1100-1200 रुपए, देखिए बड़े बड़े इश्यूज हैं।
हाँ, नहीं, लेकिन इशू एक और है। निखत अब्बास, would you want to come in here? The Aam Aadmi Party has been saying this is treachery, and you know they may have a point, Nikhat Abbas. If you need to run a government, and of course I'll come to that question to Mr. Sehgal as well, but Nikhat, the fact is if you want to run a government, just a set of ministers cannot run that government, right? You need bureaucrats to run that government. Now, if according to the Aam Aadmi, those bureaucrats are not taking phone calls of ministers, not attending meetings, not showing up at work, and only reporting to the LG, how is this, state government expected to run or govern the state?
it disheartens me to see that how naive the unofficial spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Sethi, is putting up the entire issue. Shreya, how well we know that what has happened lately. It is evident that Aam Aadmi Party's Karta Dharta, so-called Arvind Kejriwal, Mukhyamantri of Delhi, has literally tried to, kind of swash the people from Delhi because he didn't want people to talk against him. It all started from, the corruption of Sharab Ghotala, the corruption of making a 45 CR, Sheesh Mahal. The moment the bureaucrats started questioning him and his things, that why are you doing this? Was he waiting for so much of time? He took two months. I mean, that's a big time. 2 months that a person
Nikhat, I don't understand what you're saying. I asked you a simple question. Let's just put Nikhat and me on the screens, please, and let's stick to that format, dear PCR. Nikhat, I don't understand what you are saying. I have asked you a simple question. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying that Babus are not showing up for meetings. They are not taking calls of ministers. They are not showing up for work. How are we expecting to run the Delhi government?
No, obviously we need the bureaucrats, in which is why there have been a system. But why Arvind Kejriwal has lately realized this wasn't not there since 5 years, since 7 years he's been in power. He did not raise up these issues. It started only when he started feeling that people have started questioning him. The moment bureaucrats started, signing those things that yes, what is the point, what is happening, and all of that. That's the moment he realizes that within 2 months he wants to do the vigilance. He wants to just kind of suspend the officer. So he needs to realize that people of Delhi are understanding what is happening. What we need is a government which can run, which can hold on power in the positive way, in a very legal way, and not that he needs to bash people who are speaking against him. So it's a clear venom vendetta.
The point is that the matter has been in the Supreme Court for 8 years now.
Which is why
the matter has been in the court for 8 years now. I just quickly want to get Mr. Sehgal in. Mr. Sehgal, I want to ask you, and I know Parminder ji, you want to respond, but just wait, because I need to understand from Mr. Sehgal whether what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying is valid. Mr. Sehgal, we've all heard what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying. As someone who is the Chief Secretary of Delhi, can you help me understand that if there is no double engine ki sarkar in the national capital and the central capital, which means, and it's a situation that has happened before, even during Ms. Sheila Dikshit's time, Mr. Madanlal Khurana's time as well. You've not had the same government at the center and the state. There are different parties that have ruled the center and the state. But we have not seen this level of fraction. What I want you to speak to our viewers about is this. Is what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying valid? If the Delhi government does not have the power to appoint or dismiss officials, does it hamper the working of the government, sir?
Well, any government will have the power which the Constitution provides, which the laws provide. Now, this same Constitution, same laws were there earlier also. What was happening was that the Chief Minister, the Lieutenant Governor and the Home Minister could maintain good political contact with each other. And if I remember right, a lot of powers were delegated to the Chief Minister in those days, and especially in appointment of heads of departments, etc. The Lieutenant Governor used to come in the picture only in the case of transfer of secretaries to government, principal secretaries to government or joint secretary level officers. So the things were moving smoothly because there was understanding. There was understanding between the political hierarchy in the state, political hierarchy in the center. That understanding, unfortunately, has gone. It does not exist. So people are now trying to decide everything purely in a legal manner. Now, if you see legally, I mean, I may be wrong in my view, I do feel that the bureaucracy, the civil service, is also a basic structure of the Constitution. If you read what Sardar Patel had said during when All India services were being put there, and they wanted a federal state, and how was an All India service put there, he very clearly said that this is the basic structure of the Constitution. So if it is the basic structure, it is as important as the judiciary. I mean, you can't abuse the judiciary. Why should you keep on abusing the bureaucracy? Now the officers have been given various protections by the courts. Over the period of time, if you see Article 311 XYZ, a lot of protection is given to the civil services. Now, this protection cannot be just taken away by ministers by passing arbitrary orders. How can you pass an order on the telephone? And if a person has not picked up the telephone, it doesn't mean he has not deliberately picked up the telephone. Or it doesn't mean he has not picked up the telephone because the LG has asked him to not pick up the telephone. Now, the point is, what was the rush? What was the hurry? The Supreme Court had given a particular interpretation of the Constitution. Okay, that's the final authority in the land, although now the Government of India has filed a review petition. So even that is open now to judicial scrutiny. But the point is, on that day, there was a decision. Why did the Chief Minister not call a meeting of all the secretaries and explain to them, call the law secretary also, call probably their lawyers also, and explain to the bureaucrats that this is our understanding of the Supreme Court ruling. Is your understanding any different? If their understanding was different, they would have come out before you. And then you could have taken a final decision that your understanding is wrong and issued an order in writing, in terms of minutes or in form of a government order, that here it is, this is what you're going to do. How does the minister services get powers? Powers have been given to the cabinet. Powers have been given to the government. How does individual ministers get power? There is no meeting of the cabinet also. At least a meeting of the cabinet should have been held. I think we have to do things the right way. Okay. If there is no right way by definition, you can't say by every 5 years the right way will be decided. There is a right way by law, there is a right way by procedure, there is a right way by system, there is a right way by precedence. And all these precedents means that in important decision making, you involve the top bureaucracy. Now you are making transfers, you don't even know that in the 2013 ruling, the Supreme Court had decided that there should be a civil services board. And all these things you can't just ignore. Somebody should have told the Chief Minister or the Minister that there is a board like this. Don't be in a rush. We have a meeting in 2 days. We'll probably carry out your instructions. But let us do the things in the right way. Please don't treat the bureaucracy, the civil servants who are in their own competence professionals, come out from very difficult examination conditions. Well, I am not a political person. I won't say Aam Aadmi Party or anything like this. There are many governments who do not know how to deal with bureaucrats. There are many other governments, like let us say people like Mr. Nitish Kumar, people even like Mr. Yogi. They know how to deal with the civil service, how to get work out of them, not by throwing the book at them, not by throwing the conduct rules at them, but by making them explain, by carrying them along. People have a right to have views. And people can have official views, you can have private views also. These views cannot be just shattered. You can't just trample them under boots because I have the powers, I'm going to suspend you, I'm going to transfer you, I'm going to throw you out. This is not fair. You don't even do that to your domestic servants. I think the bureaucracy should be treated well. And if the government has come out with a law creating an authority, I welcome it. I hope such an authority is created in other states also, where the bureaucracy is protected from unnecessary transfers, 55 transfers in a lifetime, 60 transfers in a lifetime. People should be allowed to work in a fair and independent manner, as Sardar Patel, our first Home Minister, had given very clearly in the Constituent Assembly.
Fair point. Mr. Parminder Singh Sethi wants to come in. Mr. Sethi?
Yes.
By the looks of it, and you know, while bringing in the ordinance, this is something that the centre has said, that there are civil servants who have come and complained to us, and that the Aam Aadmi Party simply doesn't know how to deal with civil servants. उनको लगता है civil servants माने हमारे servant हैं, जो हम बोलेंगे वो ये करेंगे।
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है।
और ये सब हमारे दुश्मन हैं अगर ये हमारी बात
नहीं मानते। देखिए, जो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स है हमारे देश की ताकत है और हमारे मन में उनके लिए बड़ा सम्मान है। लेकिन जब जो विपक्ष
किसी सरकार के अंडर चीफ सेक्रेटरी की पिटाई उसके ऑफिस में हुई होगी।
नहीं, वो इंसिडेंट का मैं नहीं कह सकता, लेकिन मैं आपको बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात बता रहा हूँ। जो सत्ता पक्ष की पार्टी है वो अपने मर्जी के ऑफिसर्स को लगाती है। वो तंग परेशान कर रहे थे, उन लोगों को हटाने इसीलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए। आम आदमी पार्टी को क्या जरूरत थी सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाने की? सुप्रीम कोर्ट इसलिए गए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट बेंच ने कहा कि जो चुनी हुई सरकार है, जो ट्रांसफर और पोस्टिंग है, उनका अधिकार है। वो काम कैसे करेंगे, वो काम कैसे लेंगे? अगर उनका अधिकार सेंट्रल सरकार के पास होगा तो वो हर्डल्स क्रिएट करेंगे। उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा लैंड लॉ एंड ऑर्डर और पुलिस के अलावा एलजी के अंडर और कुछ नहीं होगा। ये जब छुट्टियां होने से पहले रात के अंधेरे में क्यों अध्यादेश लेके आए? 2 दिन पहले भी ला सकते थे। इनको पता था कि कोर्ट में ये स्ट्राइक डाउन हो जाएगा। लेकिन आप इस बात को समझिए कि नियत का प्रश्न, नियत का है। आप गरीब आदमी की डेवलपमेंट के लिए कोई काम नहीं करना चाहते। आप सिर्फ विपक्षी पार्टियों को संवैधानिक संस्थाओं का मिसयूज करके, चाहे वो ईडी हो, चाहे सीबीआई हो, चाहे करप्शन हो। अभी मैं उनके स्पोक्स पर्सन मैडम बोल रहे थे जी जनता ने पहचान लिया। अगर जनता ने पहचान लिया, 3 बार आपको हरा दिया, एमसीडी में आपको हरा दिया, पंजाब में आपको हरा दिया, हिमाचल में आपको हरा दिया, कर्नाटक में आपको हरा दिया। इतनी बड़ी पार्टी जिसको एब्सोल्यूट मैंडेट मिला होता है, ये देश में बदलाव की राजनीति शुरू हो चुकी है।
नहीं, मुझे बदलाव की राजनीति तो ठीक है, लेकिन एक बात बताइए परमिंदर सेठी जी, ये पहली बार तो है नहीं, मैंने उमेश सहगल साहब से भी ये सवाल पूछा, पहली बार तो है नहीं कि डबल इंजन की सरकार
शीला जी के टाइम पे भी 10 साल डबल इंजन की सरकार थी, 5 साल वाजपेयी जी की सरकार थी।
तो फिर लेकिन काम हुआ ना, शीला दीक्षित के अंदर काम हुआ, मदनलाल खुराना के अंदर काम हुआ।
मैं वही भी कह रहा हूं, वो समय ऐसा था जब शीला दीक्षित जी का या मदनलाल खुराना जी का समय था। उस समय अपोजिशन के जो लीडर्स थे एक दूसरे का सम्मान करते थे, अपनी उनकी विचारधाराएं बड़े चाहे अलग हो लेकिन वो साथ में बैठते थे, एक दूसरे के दुख सुख में शरीक होते थे। यहाँ तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति है, वो समझते हैं कि ये हमारे दुश्मन है, इनको मिटा दो, खत्म कर दो, सारी उम्र के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी यहाँ पे काबिज हो जाए। ये हो नहीं सकता। ये लोकतंत्र है, डेमोक्रेसी है, यहाँ पे जनता फैसला करती है।
चलिए, I can give the last word to Nikhat, who's waiting by as well, the spokesperson of the BJP. Fact is, Nikhat, that the Aam Aadmi Party is now making this about opposition unity. They are saying that this is a test case for opposition unity ahead of 2024, that all opposition parties need to come together to block this ordinance in the Rajya Sabha. If that happens, it will be a major embarrassment for the BJP.
This is nothing new. I always say this, and I would again reiterate the same thing, that this is not an election mode. This is just Modi harao pratiyogita mode, which is why we saw that exactly what's happened in 2019. That's exactly what they're serving in the plate this time also, the opposition. But what am I trying to say is that there's a stark difference between holding a power, running the business, running the government, and misusing the power. What right now Arvind Kejriwal has been doing is that he's a power-hungry man, because he needs that power to create a situation where he has all the powers and he can take the call that whosoever is supporting him behind the curtains would be staying in the system, and whosoever thinks that slipping out of his pockets and hands would be just cut down from the list. That's the misuse what he's trying to show, and that's exactly which is why he's trying to bring in the entire opposition against the government, which is why he's conducting the press conference. I really want to know, where are these people going all over these 5 years? Why aren't they together when they have to fight for the people, when they have to fight against the things which are going wrong? Like Mamata Banerjee has done, like what not? People, they've in her power in Bengal, people have been dying, and there's been no shout out from Arvind Kejriwal. But today, when he sees that he needs to come in power, he wants to come in power. He's a power-hungry man, which is why he's just collecting all those oppositions together and creating this kind of scene. I just want to know that
he's already
how
in power.
come all of a sudden, my question is just simple, that how all of a sudden you realize that what's happening is supposed to happen this way, and how can he just say कि अरे चलो हमें तो किसी को अगर बर्खास्त कर रहा है तो मेरे पास सारी पावर होनी चाहिए? I mean, just get some real business to be done. Bureaucrats है वो. One side you think you have a lot of respect, secondly you're just defaming them कि मेरे तो फोन ही नहीं उठाते. You're a chief minister. How can you do such loose talk and try to portray this business कि भाई मेरा कोई फोन नहीं उठा रहा? Stop playing a victim card. All what I am saying is, stop being a power hungry. Okay. Stop creating this venom vendetta against the bureaucrats. If you really have that respect, hold a committee, make that happen with a legal procedure and not this way.
Okay, Nikhat Abbas, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Umesh Sehgal ji, thank you very much. And Parvinder Singh Sethi ji, thank you very much for coming to the studio. But we are keeping our focus on Delhi, where there was another flashpoint between the center and the state. And let me show you the pictures that triggered that war of words. No, those are not the pictures that triggered the war of words. Those are the pictures that triggered the war of words. Manish Sisodia being pulled away by Delhi cops when he tries to talk to the media. The Aam Aadmi Party alleges he was manhandled by the Delhi police. Mr. Sisodia was speaking to the media over the new ordinance introduced by the centre. Just listen in.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले के खिलाफ हम जाएंगे। बहुत अहंकार हो गया है मोदी जी को, ना वो लोकतंत्र को मानते हैं। केजरीवाल जी के काम के लिए वो बहुत अहंकार में डूब गए मोदी जी।
Now, the Aam Aadmi Party was very upset with the way their senior leader was treated and promptly held a press conference.
आज जो राउज एवेन्यू में देखने में मिला, मुझे लगता है कि उससे एक बात बड़ी साफ है कि सीधा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफिस से, प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय से इस चीज के निर्देश दिल्ली पुलिस को दिए गए हैं कि मनीष सिसोदिया जी को अपमानित किया जाए, उनके मनोबल को तोड़ दिया जाए, उनके आत्मविश्वास को कुचल दिया जाए और उनकी ये तस्वीरें इस तरीके से पब्लिक की जाएं कि दिखाएं कि देखिए अब हमने एक आदमी को मिट्टी में मिला दिया, और ऐसे हम किसी को मिट्टी में मिलाते हैं।
Now, the Delhi police was equally upset and said the Delhi government was indulging in propaganda. Backing them was the BJP.
आज अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने और उनके बाकी मंत्रियों ने ट्वीट कर करके इल्जाम लगाए कि दिल्ली पुलिस ने मनीष सिसोदिया जी को जब कोर्ट में ले जा रहे थे उनसे बदतमीजी की। ये बदतमीजी नहीं है। उनको याद रखना चाहिए मनीष सिसोदिया जी अब जेल मंत्री नहीं है। उनको यह भी याद रखना चाहिए मनीष सिसोदिया जी कोई जेल के स्पोक्स पर्सन नहीं है जो टीवियों पे बोल रहे हैं। वो शराब घोटाले के पैसे लेने के जुर्म में जेल में बंद हैं, और किसी अपराधी को, कोई जेल में बंद किसी सजायाफ्ता अपराधी को या जुडिशियल कस्टडी में बंद किसी अपराधी को अधिकार नहीं है कि वो टीवियों पे स्पोक्स पर्सन बनकर बोले।
Now, the Manish Sisodia incident is coming a day after the Aam Aadmi Party had shared a picture of a very frail and weak-looking Satyendra Jain. They say he's lost 35 kgs in jail. The party is accusing the BJP of wanting to kill Mr. Jain, who has been in jail for a while. In fact, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal tweeted, and I quote, "The people of Delhi are watching the arrogance and atrocities of the BJP. Even God will not forget these oppressors." He goes on to say, in this struggle, the people are with us and God is by our side. Satyendra Jain was arrested on 30th May last year in connection to a money laundering case, which means he's been in jail for almost a year now. On that note, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There's much more news coming up on the other side. We are speaking to the UPSC topper this year when we come back. Do stay with us.